Netflix's newest anime film finally hits US after having a debut in Japan last October. So today we're going to talk about Child of Kamiari Month. After losing her mother, a little girl learns that she must journey across Japan to the annual gathering of the gods in the sacred land of Izumo. Welcome back, movie watchers. Thank you guys for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to talk about the new Netflix anime film, Child of Kamiari Month. Let me know in the comment section down below, have you checked out this new anime film that did debut in Japan last October and is finally getting its US release via Netflix? I like checking out anything that really comes to Netflix that is anime, from shows to movies, whatever it is. I do enjoy watching them. Some are really good and very memorable, and some are just kind of there and forgettable. And I feel like Child of Kamiari Month kind of lingers more into it's forgettable and really thin story that really had potential. It's a visually stunning looking film. It's not as groundbreaking as some other anime films I have seen in the past, but the visuals in here are really good. The little girl in the movie, Kana, is a dedicated runner before the tragic loss of her mother. She suddenly finds herself interacting with fantastical creatures after fleeing a race. There's a young demon boy, a talking rabbit, and they inform her that her mother was hiding a magical secret, and now it's her destiny to take upon the mantle of her birthright. She is tasked with running across Japan, and along the way meets different magical creatures and different creatures that she comes across. Like I said, this talking rabbit, this young demon boy. The visuals are very appealing to those moments. Anything that she comes across, the challenges that she's faced with, the visuals are there to provide very stunning moments. And so the visuals are easily one of the best things about this movie, from some of the more brighter moments when we see some of these flashback moments in her mother and her being that dedicated runner, to her realizing that, there's a possibility that her mother may still be alive somewhere, and she has to participate in this kind of annual tradition and participate in this ancient festival. All of the different animation in here is really, really beautiful. At its core, this is a story about grief, especially for children, and how this child navigates her grief after losing her mother. And she is no longer a runner. Like I said, she was a dedicated runner. She was pretty good at it too. And when she lost her mother, she decided to give that up. And there's a point in the film where she talks to these fantastical creatures and mentions that when she meets her mother, she's going to tell her that she's completely giving up running. It does look at how children do handle grief, but the story of this young girl navigating that grief left more to be desired. There is the story for itself involving this young girl and the magical creatures and her mother was very thin. The first 30 minutes or so of the film is just heavy on exposition when it comes to her, what happened to her mother, these creatures, this ancient festival. It's just trying to dump so much on you within those first 30-40 minutes or so. You just feel like some of these scenes aren't edited well together because there's just so much exposition going on, to where it also is taken away from some of the development to the characters and the story within the film. At times, this movie is moving very slow. It's trying to be very personal to the character. And at times, the movie is trying to move very fast. Like it's trying to wrap up certain storylines fairly quick. So the pacing for it is just really all over the place. I do appreciate some of those more slower, tender moments to the characters, but when it starts to pick up steam, it starts to lose some of the characteristics for Kana and the demon boy and this talking rabbit. They're just characters that seem to be just there rather than being fully developed throughout the movie. Most of the movie is just going from one place to the other, one creature to the other. I did like some of the folklore behind everything, and like I said, the animation does work for those characters, but the structure for it, like I said, kind of is taken away from some of the development, because it's just from one scene to the other to the other to the other without really offering much in between those sequences. And Kana herself is not the most interesting character in the first place. Like I said, I think it might be because of some of the lack of development for this character, but it's not a character that I was truly invested in the story, despite some really good themes of children, despite some really good themes in here and covering how children handle grief. I thought could have been handled a little more deeper and a little more emotional for these characters, but I just really, at the end of it, didn't really care much for the journey and the character themselves. So Child of Kamiari Month, there were some decent moments within here, especially those visuals with the gods and the creatures. It just looked really good. And I did appreciate the theme in here, despite it feeling a little weak at times. It's still an interesting film to watch if you are a fan of some of the Netflix anime movies that they bring to their streaming service. I would recommend checking it out if you feel like you always like to check out some of the anime content that they do have. Just throw it into the mix. It's not the best thing ever made, but also it's not the worst anime film I've ever seen either. So before I give you my score for Child of Kamiari Month, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer reactions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie-related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more up-and-coming content. I'm going to go ahead and give Child of Kamiari Month a B-. Thank you guys for checking my review for the new anime film Child of Kamiari Month. Let me know what you thought about the film in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up-and-coming content. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.